It says it's live. I don't know if it is. I have no way of checking. So, yes, we're back again. Another one of these Club 52 things where we spin a wheel every month and get a game. And it landed on my game again for some reason. I keep getting games, which was Psi-Ops, the Mindgate Conspiracy. And it might be a conspiracy that I keep getting my games picked. I don't know. So, yeah, to be honest, it was only us three that have played it. And John might not have played it this time.
2023, baby.
So yeah, I will play the trailer of it because it's just a old PS2 game that I imagine people have heard of but might not have played. So
this if you didn't see the previous Club 52 stream, then you know this is a refresher.
Yes.
Get rated. What's going on? Fall back! Captured by a powerful Psi-terrorist organization. Your mind.
You feel your true self.
Has been erased.
You fear to trust your own memories.
It is time to discover.
You have the power to stop the General.
Your true self. Engage in strategic combat. Where your mind is the ultimate weapon, using telekinesis. Pyrokinesis. Mind drain. Mind control. One of IGN's most wanted games of 2004, Psi-Ops, the Mindgate Conspiracy.
Okay, watching that back shows it's pretty much the entire game, isn't it?
Well, pretty much. But I mean,
I also realised I didn't introduce anybody to this. So if anybody wants to introduce themselves before we continue, feel free. I'm not going to bother. It's on my channel.
I've been on all these Cloud 52 streams, so
yeah.
And, I mean, Gordon, I think, should be the most famous of all of us, so he needs no introduction.
I'm not famous at all. Not at all.
It's Mr. Charity.
Mr. Charity.
Yeah.
But,
I thought the trailer was really good.
Yeah,
I
mean,
good.
It does actually
think about the trailer that I want to mention, which aren't actually about the game. One is it makes me nostalgic for like early to mid 2000s music. That the song I had playing at the end, I was like, oh yeah, I remember sat back when I used to live at home on like my PC on the internet, back when you actually had to browse the internet, not see the same social media sites all the time, and have music playing in the background. And the other thing is, when was the last time anyone went to IGN.com?
2004. So I was going to say, before we start talking about the game, would you like to give the synopsis of it, John? Since you are the lore master, I can play your intro if you want.
You bet, Bommies.
Love it.
Oh, I still love that. So, as I last played this game back in 2023, even not 2003, 2023, I am going to be using the Wikipedia page. So, and because of that, I am going to be putting on my glasses, which I normally keep off because of the glare. So, strap yourselves in. Nick Scryer is a psychic agent with the Mindgate organization. Along with his fellow agent, Sarah Blake, he is sent to infiltrate the terrorist organization, The Movement, a group of former Mindgate agents led by the General, who control an army of brainwashed soldiers. To evade psychic detection, Scryer's memories are wiped and his powers are deactivated. Rendezvousing with Blake after a successful infiltration, she gives him an injection to bring back his memories. His memories and powers are gradually restored over the course of the story. Scryer navigates the facility he's held in and finds its blueprints for Blake. She then has him plant 3 warheads in specific locations. After planting the bombs and killing the movement's master of mind control, Jov Leonov, Scryer escapes with Blake on board a helicopter as the facility explodes. Scryer and Blake arrive at the facility where they find an artifact called Luna 1. Scryer takes it, but he runs into Blake later, and she asks to hold on to it. When Scryer confronts the movement's master of telekinesis, Edgar Barrett, he discovers that Blake turned Luna 1 over to the movement. Scryer pursues Barrett to another facility, leaving Blake behind. Here, he meets a reluctant member of the movement, Kimco Jones. She explains that Luna 1 is a fragment of another artifact, the Monolith, and that World War II and the Cold War were fought over such fragments. The movement's master of illusions, Wei Lu, tries to stop him from navigating the facility by creating visions of his dead allies returning as zombies. He confronts her and he kills her after she transforms herself into a monster. Scryer encounters Blake and she says she doesn't understand when he accuses her of siding with the movement. Scryer continues through the facility and finds the general putting the monolith in the machine, powered by the movement's master of pyrokinesis, Marlena Kessler. Scryer kills her, but the general gets away with the monolith. As the facility fusion reactor overloads, Scryer escapes in the helicopter to chase the general, while Jones stays behind to contain the explosion. Scryer follows the general to a temple filled with invisible flying beasts controlled by the movement's master of remote viewing, Nicholas Wrightson. He rescues Blake, who is being held hostage, and she gives her a device to use as an uplink to repel the beasts. Scryer and Blake then encounter Sarah's missing twin sister, Tanya, who admits to killing their parents and taking Luna 1 from Scryer. Wrightson kidnaps Sarah, so Scryer breaks open Wrightson's protective hatch, and the beasts turn on him as he is pulled into their dimension. Scryer navigates the caverns to find where the general and Barrett are activating the monolith. After it is ready, the general kills Barrett, so he does not have to share the power. He activates the monolith and gains psychic powers, but Scryer collects energy fragments output by the machine and uses them to kill the general. After defeating the general, Scryer and Blake see their allies arriving in helicopters. Scryer's final memories return as the helicopters turn against them. The game ends on a cliffhanger with a "to be continued" screen. Dun 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 dun.
I don't know if that makes any clearer to anyone still.
That was the whole story. That was it.
Well, we don't have to talk too much about it then. No. What did everybody actually think of it as just as a general game? Did you think it controlled well, played well? It was of its time. I'm just curious.
So
Yeah, it's definitely of its time. Definitely. I thought it was an okay game. I thought, like, I didn't know you could hug a wall until halfway through the game. Like, I was just standing toe to toe with the enemy shooting them, and that got annoying after a while.
Mhm.
But
As you know, I tried to tell you how to hug a wall, and I didn't actually know what the controls were, so I didn't. I just get accidentally doing it.
because I didn't play it like constantly, so I kept on coming back and forward to it. Like, I forgot half the moves and things like that. Like, I forgot to mind drain the dead enemies to get your blue power back up and your Psi power back up and stuff. I remember one part in a shipping container bay.
Mhm.
I was just on that level for ages, man. Ages and ages and ages.
I was on I was on the shipping container one for ages. It was the one where you've got to ride the container over. Couldn't work out how to do that. I couldn't realize you had to make take over a guy to get him to do something. I was just lost.
Aye. It took me a while because you had to get up on the container first and then take somebody over.
Yeah.
Press the button and take you up. Aye. It took me ages to figure that out as well.
Yeah, as you just said, I was taking breaks from it as well, and I'd go back to it and forget that I had certain powers, and I'd just start playing it like a shooter, and then just realize why I'm dying all the time.
Aye, yeah. Because ammo's very scarce in the game as well.
Oh, there was so many times where I just had no ammo, and
yeah,
there was a boss on it that there's the boss that turns into a big thing, the woman that turns into a big blob.
The illusion master.
Yeah, that weird thing. You fight like big armies of those statues beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So I used all my ammo up killing them, not expecting there to be into another boss. I thought that was going to be it. And I had no ammo, and I was spent ages just trying to run around getting Psi energy and just throwing small rocks at her until she was dead.
Yeah. I like the whole side, like throwing stuff around. I just don't think it worked very well. I think like to whip the rocks to fling them. I just felt it was a bit sluggish.
Mm-hmm.
I felt
it seemed to be sometimes it would be like super swift on throwing, and sometimes it was like drag it across as if you're trying to slowly move it into somewhere. That's what I thought, but
yeah. I remember one part actually when you had to get the little pyramid keys and you had to take them up the stairs. That took forever, man. They just wouldn't come up the stairs. Oh, that annoyed me.
Yeah, I had to keep putting it down and getting below it to lift it higher to walk up for it.
Aye, that annoyed me. Funny though.
But I know that you played it on the PS2 and John played it on the PC ages ago. I went for the in-between. I was too lazy to set the PS2 up, so I played the PS2 disc through an emulator on the PC, which came with its own kind of issues, because the game with the telekinesis and lifting things is like pressure sensitive on the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't register the PS4 controller, which I was using. Pressure sensitive. So I had to set another button, which I used the touchpad on it to set different levels of pressure for buttons.
Yeah.
So yeah, that made it really awkward that I was pressing that and like buttons at the same time. Made it harder than it needed to be.
Yeah, because I remember when I went back and looked at my original, because 2023 was the first year I did the Club 52 challenge, so I still have my footage of like me beating this game. And one of the things I talked about was like with using the Psi power to like throw stuff. Because I play with the keyboard and mouse, I was like talking about like having to try throw. So you have to like drag the mouse back and then like try and move the mouse forward to try and like simulate pulling back and throwing it. So with using a controller, was it like hold the button down and then move like the analog sticks back and then forward, or like
you didn't have to move it back and forward. You just flicked it in the direction you wanted to throw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It did seem like if you did try to pull it back and forward, it sometimes went a bit further, but I don't think it did much of anything different on it.
Because I did find I think one reason why I like to play some shooters on the PC is because I like the accuracy you can get with a mouse.
Yeah.
But if there are certain games where I'll still play a controller instead, if it's like agreed that it is the optimal way to play because of things like I feel like maybe the psychic powers probably would have worked better with a controller rather than maybe with a keyboard and mouse in that regard. So I wonder if, because I was saying earlier on, you guys saying like there's hardly ammo. From memory, I don't find that I found that to be much of a problem. But I wonder if what was the aiming like on the PS2? Did you find you were shooting wild quite a lot, or was it usually quite accurate?
I don't know if it's because I played it on easy or not, because I just wanted to get through it. But it kind of had a bit of an auto aim to it. So like you could get your reticule in the vicinity and it would say like put a dot on their head or something, so you know where it was hitting. You didn't have to be that accurate.
Sure.
Yeah.
But
like there's no I guess the same as the PC version. There's no like aim down sights or anything. It's like you can't tighten in on it. It just if it's on the target, it's on the target.
Okay, fair enough. Because I just know that at the beginning of this year, when I played Vanquish, and so did James, aka Super Rash Gaming, he played console and I played PC, and I think I had an easier time especially in boss battles, because of the fact like with the accuracy I can get with the mouse, whereas compared to the controller. So I wondered if it was a similar kind of thing. So
Yeah, I imagine you were way more accurate. I was literally burning through ammo. Every enemy felt like a bullet sponge. So
yeah, there was only a couple of times you'd find ammo like on the level. Like the majority of the time, it would be off the dead bodies. Like,
and it would always be an opposite gun to what you had. So you'd have like a couple of shots, then it'd be like, oh, well, you've got to pick up a shotgun now because you've only got like one shot left in that, and that's only got 3 shots in it.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was going to make a point. I completely went out of my head what it was. But I think probably maybe that was deliberate because they wanted you to use the psi powers far more. Like they were like, okay, we have guns, but we want you to use the psi powers as the whole point of this game. So they maybe felt that they couldn't make just a psi game, and they had to have, to be seen as like a good seller, they probably had to like, oh, we have to have guns and then shooting in this for it to sell. So they maybe just
I felt they wanted you to take the game more stealthily than I wanted to.
No, not happening. This isn't Metal Gear.
No. But yeah, all the things it teaches you and the little break-up bits where it goes to the training, which annoyed me after a while, that every time you pick up something like a new power, it would go to a training thing, which lasted way longer than it needed to. Yeah. But I don't know, you wouldn't use any of those tactics in the game, I didn't find.
No, not at all. Yeah. There's a couple of the things that I didn't use at all. I didn't use the remote viewing, the one where you can go. I didn't use that at all. And then the pyrokinesis, the fire. Yeah. I didn't use that at all except for the end boss. That was the only time I used that. Oh, sorry, and the statues. I used them for the statues.
Yeah, I used it on the statues because it was the only thing that seemed to do much damage to them.
Yeah.
Then I finished them off with a couple of shots, then ran out of ammo.
Yeah. You had to fire them, then they went red, then you shot them and they fell apart. But apart from that, I didn't do it. I used the telekinesis all the time. Yeah. Through the bad guys. Everywhere.
That's what they wanted you to do. Kind of like is it wrong of me to say, do you think Half-Life 2 might have had a impact on like trying to get you to do that? Because of the gravity gun. In Half-Life 2, maybe they're trying to like emulate that with like, oh, throw stuff around. Everyone loved this. We should do that as well if we're doing a psychic power game.
Maybe. It was a
I used the mind control one all the time as well. That was really good. I felt like a lot of the levels, like there was only one set way of doing the levels, if that makes sense. Like the enemies walk the same path and everything. I kind of try.
The game seemed to like a time limit, didn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of time limits in games for things.
No. You're more likely to make mistakes if you're feeling the pressure of a timer. It should be like the very end of the game, like Metroid or something. It's like you've been the car boss, you have to get out of the facility. All the time. Because did either of you ever play Second Sight?
No, it was actually when I was choosing the game to put on this, it was between this and Second Sight.
Okay.
But I thought more people had played Second Sight, so I thought Psi-Ops would be the better one to go for that most people wouldn't have played.
Yeah, I really like Second Sight's a really good game. Really, really good game. Yeah,
it is.
It's also made by Free Radical and not Midway, isn't it?
Yeah, there's one thing about Second Sight though, that because it's made by Free Radical, it's got the graphics of Free Radical, everything. It looks Free Radical. And when I was playing it, I was expecting like there to be punchlines and comedy, and there's not in it. It's a very serious game. It's really good.
Yeah, it's the reason I bring it up because like you were talking about like the training sections in Psi-Ops, and I was like thinking back because I played Second Sight like probably nearly 20 years ago now, but I remember like thinking that game did better, like introducing its different psi powers because it's a pretty much same thing. You've lost your memory, and you are learning the powers as you go along. And I feel, again, from memory, I felt that game was far better in introducing those powers as they went along. Whereas with Psi-Ops, it was, okay, you're in a training facility, and you act like you're in the field, but it's cardboard like structures, wasn't it? And then you had to go through different rooms. Is that it? Or am I misremembering that bit?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just like you're doing the same level every time. And it wasn't like Barrett would end with like, let's go and grab a bite to eat or like something like that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
a cheesy line, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But
He had
yeah,
a big afro as well, didn't he?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah.
His hairstyle changed throughout the kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he had
true.
like a Mr. T mohawk kind of thing.
They tried to give us some humor there, but I get like why they probably did it, because if it was like a proper military kind of thing, yeah, they would have probably something like that. But as a game, you probably wanted it to be more visually, interesting, engaging than that.
Yeah.
But you can understand why they probably did it, but at the same time, it's not the best for us being interested. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like it was a bit tongue in cheek at times, and like it was trying. It knew it couldn't take itself seriously because it was a bit of a stupid premise.
Aye.
Yeah.
And there was some cheesy lines in it, and just like with that the girl, I can't remember the blonde girl.
Yeah.
It turned out that she had like a twin sister just out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, like
I was like, where did she come from? It was just silly.
Because again, hopefully I'm not misremembering this, but isn't this like when he has the thing over, she acts more like seductive and like, hang on, and I was watching this thinking, her personality has completely changed. How much of a dipshit are you to fall for this?
But there were some times where the good one was taken over by that guy. I can't remember the names, but she was taken over. Then she came out of the woodwork, and it was just, I don't know where she came from. I really don't.
It was over the top. And to be honest, I kind of liked that about it.
It didn't take itself seriously. It was just
There was a couple of things I did actually really like about it. Come to think about it, the way it controlled felt quite modern to me. Like when you go back to some like third person stuff, it feels really stiff. I didn't think this felt that stiff. It's stiffer than newer games, but not.
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. The animations of the movement and that were pretty fluid.
Yeah. I just think in that respect it just lacked like the aiming down sight button.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. But apart from that, yeah, it was fine. Yeah. But again, it's probably because we're spoiled by modern games these days. I don't know.
you say that, but I don't really play good modern games, do I?
You're doing the Club 52.
Yeah.
We're going to land on Anthem tonight. That's what we're going to do. Before it gets shut down.
Do you guys remember how long it took you to beat the game overall?
I would have guessed around 8 hours ish. I did see at the end it said it was about 5 hours, but that was, I don't think it counted the times that I died and things.
And reload, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy you got it.
I can't remember. I want to say 11, but I don't know. I can't remember. But that was another thing. The checkpoints were a pain in the arse as well. The checkpoints were so far apart. Like when Ross was saying you're fighting that woman and you get the statues, and if you die against the beast, you go all the way back to the beginning of the statues. That was so annoying.
Yeah. There's also, you get the power where you can see like footprints and things, like you can break walls and things.
Yeah.
At the end, when you have to pick up those like prism things as like keys.
Yeah.
It threw me on that bit. One, you have to pick up the key that you'd already used to open a door, so I thought that would have just locked the door.
Yeah, you had to go back, didn't you? Yeah.
Then I couldn't find the other one, but it's hidden in the floor, isn't it? You break the floor.
Yeah.
But I threw so much at that floor, nothing broke. So I started shooting it, didn't break. I was like, what?
Waste ammo.
Yeah. So I think I had like one shot left. So I shot it with a shotgun and it broke. I was like, how much damage does this floor take to take a stupid key out of it?
That bit was annoying. That's the bit where you had to get your telekinesis and bring that pyramid key up the stairs. Oh, yeah. That just drove me insane. It just wouldn't raise up enough, and
from there onwards, the game starts to go downhill. You get to the temple and you find out there's those invisible enemies.
Yeah,
and you can sneak past them. I just kept setting them off because it was the only time I used melee. If you just set them all off and just kept mashing the melee, you would kill them all slowly but surely.
I wish there's so much ammo on them. So much ammo. But yeah, you couldn't get past them. That's the thing. Like you'd sneak and they would just see you like that. It was so annoying. So annoying.
Yeah,
Good
weird.
game,
They're like invisible shrimp looking things, isn't they?
Yeah. But obviously at the end, I don't know if I talk about the end and everything, but
Well, I've read out the whole story and said it, so go for it.
well, the big cliffhanger was to be continued. I don't think it will ever.
Which will never be continued.
No.
Nah. They won't go back to that. No way. I don't think
No,
so.
but if you want to talk about the crap from the ending, the way up to the ending, where there's loads of invisible mines, and even if you breathe in the direction of a mine, everything explodes.
I forgot all of it. That was horrible. Oh, I hated that bit as well.
And you're in the middle of a firefight, which you can die pretty quick in. There's a bit where you come out of a cave and you have to go into some like shallow water, which slows you down, doesn't it? And there's people with like rocket launchers at the top firing at you, but there's invisible mines and all this water. I honestly thought I was going to give up on the game at that point. And like, playing it on easy, I thought this is going to be easy. No, everything was a one-hit death.
That was hard.
Just be glad that this is not got achievements, so you don't have to worry about doing a platinum and having to beat it on hard mode, Ross.
When I fired it up onto the PC, it did sync up with retro achievements, but I didn't log in because I didn't want to go for it.
I was going to say, like, no, don't go down that route.
Not happening. Not happening.
No, because I said, like, I played this back in 2023. So when I watched the footage, and like the biggest takeaway was that this game definitely outstayed its welcome. Like, I was exhausted beating this game, and it's just I didn't remember that until I watched the footage. I was like, oh yeah, I think it wasn't that bad a game. But then it's just like the points we've just been discussing. Like, I think if either the game had been shorter, or they hadn't just thrown so much BS at you by the last act of the game. Like when you land at the temple area, I guess that's the last, not necessarily the last level, last stage, but last geographic location of the game. But I think that I don't know if this was maybe because it was being rushed. Again, I don't know the history of the game, but if it was maybe being rushed out at that point, they just had to get out the door, and it was just like, okay, and they didn't have the time to refine that experience, or they were like, well, this is the end of the game, we're going to make you work for it, and it's just them being sadistic. Like, if you want to see the credits, you're not beating this in a weekend. What was weekend rental still a problem in the PS2 era, from Blockbuster, or we got past that?
I don't think so.
I don't think it was that big, really, was it? It was kind of dying down.
Why? It's just trying to get into the mindset of why they would have designed it the way they did.
Thing is, they designed it in a really odd way. Like when I wasn't very far into the game, and I found, because you can find the hidden gnomes and stuff, can't you?
Yeah.
But like they unlocked things, and I unlocked something like unlimited ammo and something else really early in the game. But I was like, I'm not going to use that. I'm not going to ruin my playthrough of it.
Is that a reason why you could?
Maybe that's what they thought. If you can just let you unlock stuff, but I didn't see it come up anywhere like to unlock it. So I don't know. Maybe you had to say these at the end of the game or something. Yeah. I don't know, but.
So I got to the point. I got to a breaking point with the game, and I looked up cheats for it. So you have to go. Where do you go? I think you have to go in the menu, and then press L1 at the special features in the main menu, and you input codes. And I thought, bugger this! I'm putting in infinite ammo, invincibility, but you can't use them on a save file. So I didn't use them.
Restart,
I promise I didn't use them because you couldn't load them into your file. So I was like, oh, I just wanted to get the game finished.
I
don't blame you, to be honest.
And I also tried to lower the difficulty, but you can't do that in a save file either. So I was like,
oh, you couldn't lower it?
No.
Oh, I feel for you. Because even that end boss, like, it didn't even tell you what to do. I was looking at it and I was like, I'll just, because it's like a guy floating in the air in it with these pillars spinning around him, and you've got to destroy the pillars. And if you destroy them quickly, he can't get his health back or something. But when they blow up, this stuff scatters everywhere. But I was looking around and I was like, what do I do? I didn't realize I had to pick that up to make that now my weapon to fire back at him. There was so much in that game which didn't seem explained very well. for a game with so much tutorial. Like,
There's loads of tutorials. Right?
I mean,
there's one thing with the bad guys. What were the bad guys called? The movement or something?
Yeah, the movement. I mean, the amount of times while I was reading out the synopsis and I said the movement, and I had to try to stop myself from making like a poop joke or something, you know.
But the one thing that they are like insignia really remind me of the Helghasts from
Killzone.
Killzone, that's it. Yeah. Aye.
So we normally do this at the end, and I'm not saying we're at that point yet. It's just that I decided to scroll down Wikipedia, and I thought this might be interesting because of our current discussion about where we think it's lacking. If you were to score the game, again, I'm not saying we're done with the discussion, but if you were to score the game, what do you think it would get at the moment?
At the moment, or do you want us to guess what it would have got back then?
No, I want your opinions of what you think.
My opinion of it, I would give it, even with the bullshit at the end, I'd give it a 7. I did enjoy it. Just that small bit at the end ruined it.
Yeah, I'd be at a 6 or a 7 for that. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you the scores and I'll tell you what people said, and it is pretty much across the board, like 8s and above. Like, you know, the majority are like 8 or 8.4. Like there was like a 9 in there, and it's just high praise. And I quote, critics overwhelmingly praised Psi-Ops for its gameplay and its focus on the game's side powers. Of particular interest was the open-ended nature of combat and the variety of ways to combine side powers. Leon described the game as a fleshed-out tech demo. Reviewers made note of the telekinesis ability, specifically describing it as the most important of the abilities and crediting it for making the gameplay engaging. Critics also praised the game for introducing new abilities and mechanics as the player progresses through the game. Andy Young of Video Gamer criticized the game's lack of a destructible environment and the difficulty in discerning what objects can be interacted with. Critics praised the accessibility of the controls, which allow the player to access all side powers immediately without having to find them in the menu. Joe Dodson of Game Revolution disagreed, saying that the controller was overburdened and that the game was in need of custom button mapping. Reviewers were critical of the camera controls, though. Reed said that it never ever lets you down. Luz approved of the game's aiming control, while Games Radar described them as fiddly. The game's tutorial system was widely praised for introducing players to new gameplay elements without interrupting gameplay. Young felt that the flashback nature of the tutorials complemented the plot. Okay, I'll stop there. Otherwise,
it completely interrupted gameplay.
It did. And also, you mentioned there open combat.
Oh, the open-ended, like so you can use different things, you know.
I genuinely thought. So I died a lot. I die a lot.
We all did.
And I've just felt like you just did the same thing, like constantly. There was one way of doing that level, and that was it. Kind of thing. That's how.
The thing is, most of the powers weren't useful in combat. It would be things like look through a door to see what's coming up, but it was just going to be. It wouldn't matter because no matter what you did, if you done a checkpoint or you flicked a switch, it spawned enemies in the same room as you every time anyway.
Yeah.
Like there was no like safety. It was the entire time was just a barrage of dudes running at you.
Yeah. The open-ended combat comment is false.
Are we looking at this through 2025 eyes, whereas back in 2004, is there a merit in what they're saying? Or, I mean...
I still think, even back in 2024, I don't think combat was open-ended. I really don't. I just... a point you made earlier about like how they could have made it flow better. I genuinely think checkpoints could have been a bit more frequent.
Yeah.
Like
to be honest, it was pretty good to see checkpoints in the game in 2004.
Aye. But I remember, like we're talking about the shipping container harbour area kind of thing. Like if you died in that area, you went all the way back to the beginning of that area.
Screw you!
It was like I got past the first part, so just like me start at that like 1.1 area or whatever, 1.2.
I did find as well in that level it would spawn like snipers on roofs. I could not work out where they were firing at me from.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah. And the eagle eye. There was another bit as well when you're like in a mountain area.
Yeah.
and there's snipers all over the place as well. And when you're coming back down the mountain area, there's a rocket launcher guy up top, and I'm just like, he can see me wherever, under the bridge, behind a rock. They see
Yeah.
you everywhere. Yeah. Aye. There was
that was in the temple level, wasn't it? Where you had to go back out the outside of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Aye. Yeah.
Aye. Right. If they stopped the game at the temple, it would have been so much better.
Aye. Yeah.
Also, out of all the things you could do in that temple, you could interact with a giant bell. Did you ever use that?
Aye.
I killed myself with it so many times.
But there's also another thing like that. It was in the kind of last level, and it was like a digger kind of crane thing.
I didn't even notice that.
And you threw that around the place, and it was good. So that bit was quite good, actually. That was the first level of all the bloody invisible mines. Oh, they were everywhere, man. You couldn't move for the mines.
Another thing that was annoying, the use item button, like for
it's jump.
touch it was the jump button. So every time I'd be trying to press switches, I'd be jumping at them.
Aye, that's right. Yeah.
That made that power on the keyboard.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm trying to think what else was. There was quite a few things about it that just seemed broken. It didn't feel like a game that should have had health packs. If it had had regenerating health, that would have made it much better. But then that wasn't the most common thing back then, was it?
No.
Again, was this before or after Halo?
This was before, wasn't it? Hold on, let's have a look.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Halo kind of like popularize that method, the regen?
Possibly.
It was after Halo by a couple of years.
Oh, a couple of years. Okay, so yeah, fair enough.
I don't know, even. But then again, Halo doesn't regen your health; it just only regens a shield, doesn't it?
Oh, good point. But yeah, it's a good point. But it has something that regens to try and protect you.
Yeah, I spent most of my time with like no health, no ammo, no psi powers, just running.
I
mean,
but you couldn't like take people on if you had nothing.
No.
The game has melee, but it was very finicky whether it actually connected. The only things it connected with were those invisible things. If you backed yourself in the corner and spammed it.
Yeah, I just didn't think the combat was how can I put it? I didn't think you could get good at the combat. Like if you're fighting somebody, you're fighting somebody. They know like you couldn't get the upper hand or anything. It was just if you're fighting somebody, you're going toe to toe with them. You're going to take damage. They're going to take damage. Yeah,
you're going to come out hurt either way.
Yeah. That reminds me, a boss really early on in the game. The one which got like the cryopod things down the sides, and people keep coming out of them. Took me ages to realize I had to destroy those pods.
Yeah, to stop them spawning. Like, so they were spawners, so yeah, you had to take those out.
For like so early in the game, there's a lot of enemies, and they're not the like. You get some. They got I can't remember. They got flamethrowers or something. They got something really powerful. Some of them, or they explode or something. And I was like,
or maybe if they got flamethrowers, but they got the tanks on the back, then they get explode because those going off.
Yeah, something like that happened. I can't remember. That did my head in. To be honest, I don't think any of the boss encounters were enjoyable.
No, the one that I was stuck on for a bit was the firewoman, Malena.
Yeah.
But that's because, like I said, I didn't think the telekinesis. I didn't think it was smooth enough. Like you're flicking the right stick, and it would just slowly throw the gas canister and stuff. And
I found like it. Sometimes it would throw as if it was locked on, and any other times you could be looking at it exactly the same, and it would just go like off in a different direction.
Yeah. Sometimes it would whip straight to her, and then sometimes it would just pathetically just kind of flop. It's like
yeah.
That
got much worse when she jumped down.
And then she called up her fire sisters, and they came at you and they exploded. Oh my god! Aye.
Yeah, I'm just thinking games have got easier and we've got older. We probably wouldn't have bitched about this in 2004 at all.
No, we're probably praising it for its open-ended combat and
Oh, I just
And
double-checked.
non-intrusive tutorials.
They were also critics endorsed the boss battles, is how they phrased it.
No, they sucked.
The
nah.
multiplayer though was panned.
Didn't try it.
No, neither did I.
Come to think of it, I didn't realise there was multiplayer. Didn't look at that bit.
No.
Is there multiplayer? Is there?
Yeah.
Or is there?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The multiplayer mode was generally panned, though Reed found it as an interesting addition. Yeah. So, God knows. I mean, maybe unless it was more for the PC rather than PS2, because the
I
PS2.
don't know. Let's have a look. Got it next to me. 1 or 2 players.
Oh yeah. So like, is it deathmatch multiplayer? I don't know how that would work. I don't think.
That's the only thing I could think of. They wouldn't have co-op story mode, I assume. So it must be just,
Yeah.
deathmatch.
Bots maybe.
It would be cooler if it was 1v1, like telekinesis only or something. It might go on forever.
Oh yeah.
Would I? Just run around crates all day. Aye. But it's done. It's ticked off the list.
So, are we kind of getting to like the end of this? Otherwise,
Yeah, to be honest, it isn't the greatest deal to speak about it. It was a third-person shooter with some janky telekinesis and stuff.
I mean, I think the game had a lot of potential. Like, until when the plot got a bit more by the end, it was an interesting premise. And, like the idea of like, if we had like a Psi agency and then like, other Psi baddies in the world, like what would it be like? And, like the premise of the game is pretty cool. I like the graphics and like the presentation, but I feel the controls and then also the difficulty just kind of really let it down. So I don't know, maybe this game would be better if it had been released on like the PS3 generation, where they could improve it.
Like say like Night Dive Studios brought it back and remastered it, but they gave it like quality of life improvements.
Yeah,
like the way they did with Shadow Man and stuff. I reckon they could actually make a good game out of it, and like if they rebalance the ending and stuff, it could. There is a good game in there.
Yeah. It's just for me, like if you put this up against Second Sight, to me, I would far rather play Second Sight than play this. And that's not to say Second Sight is a bad game. I think it's a great game. It's just it doesn't really have a replayability for me personally. So
I don't want to play this again.
I won't play it again.
I didn't replay it for this.
No.
So
yeah, I think I'm happy I played through it because it is. I remember when it came up on the wheel last month, I was pretty excited to play it. I thought that's a game I've always wanted. It's always been on the shelf. One of them kind of games is we'll get to it. I'll get to it. So
yeah,
I'm happy I got to it.
I randomly played it because I think I must have heard about it in some way, shape, or form, being recommended by someone. So I decided to like have a punt on it, and that's without the challenge. It was just without being picked by the wheel. This was just me deciding to play a random PS2 era game, and so
when I was picking it for the wheel, as when I was looking at like stuff, I thought stuff from my collection. Turned out I didn't have it in my collection. I thought I did. But I was looking for games that like people praised and thought underrated, and there was people saying this is their favorite game of all time. It's just like it's got to be pretty good then.
Do you know, just before the stream, I was having a smoke and I was looking at YouTube and I seen like a couple of videos saying underrated gem and everything, and I was watching it for like 3 minutes and were praising it to high heavens, and I'm like, they must have played a different game. And it was
syndrome.
But it was only like a 3-year-old video, so it wasn't even back in 2004. It was literally looking back, underrated gem. I was like, nah. What these guys on?
Are we playing this game wrong? Is there like a
maybe
way to play it?
Aye.
I don't know. I'm going to start watching some people's reviews of it now and see what I did wrong. Everything I'm guessing.
With the cheats on. Maybe they're playing through the campaign with the cheats on and doing it that way.
Yeah.
That could be fun, yeah.
Game
Like
shark.
I'm saying,
That's all you need. Action replay makes the game amazing.
like I said earlier, like I didn't know you could hug a wall until halfway through the game. But even when
Where's the
I
tutorial?
didn't use it. I still didn't use it.
It seemed
I mean-
really sluggish when you're against a wall as well. It wasn't easy to try like lean round stuff or anything. It was
Yeah, it was.
it was more just to take cover from turrets, and those turrets took a beat, and I hated them.
Yeah. Turrets were annoying. But again, that's another thing, that the turrets seen you wherever you were. Like you couldn't grab something and whip it and smash it quick enough. It was
Like you could be behind a crate, and you could see it following as you were moving behind the crate, couldn't you? Oh.
Yeah. The turrets weren't stupid.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing I've ever played. It's
No.
one I'm glad I've played.
Yeah.
I love going back and playing retro games. I wouldn't own so many if I didn't want to play them.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
Not everyone's going to be an absolute banger, is it?
Yeah. And if anyone wants to give it a try, but with the PC version, it's not on Steam. The game went abandonware, so the devs actually, or the publisher, whoever, put it up on their website for free, but then the website's now gone. But it was then archived elsewhere with the DRM stripped out. So it's just a free download, and it ran on my Windows 10 computer. So if you don't have a PS2 and don't know how to run a PS2 emulator, then you can just download the PC port for free. So
I'll tell you what this did remind me of when I was playing it, and it was a game that I played last year that I absolutely panned. It reminded me of Morph-X. If you've ever played it.
Oh, I remember that.
The only game I've ever played that made me throw up from motion sickness.
okay, yeah.
I didn't get motion sickness from this. It's just the way it looked. I think it's because this was quite decent looking for a PS2 game, while Morph-X is a 360 game that looks like absolute shit.
I mean, if the bar is it doesn't make me physically sick, then that's a pretty low bar.
Aye.
Yeah, I haven't got much more to say about it. Any of you guys?
No, I think we kind of said all there is to say. I think I'd like John was saying. I think the premise was interesting. I like the amnesia angle and the military angle and everything. Yeah, but there was just no.
Yeah, I think it's worth.
It was the combat and the checkpoints for me that really took me out of it. Because I think Ross has mentioned before, like if you die in something, you can just quickly loop back to that point again, and it's fine. But if you die and you have to go all the way back, and
the loading wasn't the shortest either, was it?
No,
no. I did, even though I played it for an emulator, it's still like it emulates how long it takes to load, and I was like,
the PC was bad for that. So
I thought I was playing a Switch game.
But, I mean, if anyone does give it a try, maybe just enable the cheats and do it that way.
You probably would have like a much better game. You wouldn't have to deal with bullshit at the moment for a start.
Yeah.
Imagine you can just run straight through.
Especially
to be honest, the game did have ragdoll. That I was quite impressed. Like decent ragdoll. Yeah. Like the amount of times I got blown up by something, but only just survived and would bounce off of things.
Cool.
It's alright.
Can we spin the wheel then?
We can spin the wheel. I do have it here. Let me find
what either Ross, Eddie, or Scott have got us playing next time.
Could be a poll game next.
Right. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Let's give it a go.
Come on.
Oh, it's really what we
oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Pete has already said spin again if he got that because he will not play it for this month. So we've already been told.
We will spin again. We will honor
the irony. Yep. I hope you're watching, Pete.
I need to make the irony of this even worse. That Gordon wants.
Wait. Before, in case if he's not. If
it lands on Anthem, it's a big fix, and I love it.
Hang on, I am getting literally like.
Let me know when I can spin again.
I think John's getting the evidence up.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. There you go.
Right.
Yeah, we're good to spin.
Ico.
About bloody time.
Nice.
Can't see anything wrong with that. I don't know. I could do the platinum on that. I don't know how hard it is, but
Yeah.
Yeah, literally for like a year and a half, a friend of mine has been telling me to, because this was on the wheel for me last year as well.
Yeah.
I never took it off, and he's been telling me, your 52 thing, just play that bloody game, you know. So I found again. So
strangely, I've never played Ico.
neither have I. That's why I put it on there.
I love Shadow of the Colossus, and I enjoyed what I played of Last Guardian, so I'm looking forward to that one.
And he's got a new game announced. But
Yeah.
we don't know his name yet. Yeah. They announced it at the game. What is it? Game Fit? No, what do they call it? Can't remember. The game show.
Yeah.
Game Fest.
I need to say about the irony of this as well, because Gordon wanted Anthem, and to get the wheel to save after I removed things from it, I had to spin the wheel, which brought up Anthem, and I said that would lose all of your luck of getting it. Then Pete said, "Don't if Dirge Cerberus comes up, he's not playing it." That came up.
I really like Dodge of Cerberus as well. I played that a couple of years ago. It's really cool. Like the new Final Fantasy Rebirth game.
Yeah.
There's kind of hints towards Dodge Cerberus in that as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, not Dodge Cerberus. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Integrate, the one with Yuffie.
Oh yeah,
Integrate. The story with Yuffie. That's got connotations of Dodge of Cerberus, which is pretty cool. So it kind of brings it all kind of together. Did
you want me to find a trailer?
Yes, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull the game out, so I'd be like, oh yeah, here it is. Going to play it.
I actually do. I own it on PS2, but I've only got a disc of it. But I've got the remaster one.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm struggling to find my physical copy.
Right, I have a thing here.
Ico's a good pick, man.
All right. Do you want me to put it up when you're back, John, or do you want me to just start it now?
Start it now. I'm honestly just trying to find my physical.
Yeah, man.
Yep, I've got the PS3 HD collection with Shadow of the Colossus, so that's how I will be playing.
Nice.
Nice. Go for platinum then. I bet it's a right bastard. I bet it's got like speed run trophies and everything, because I know Shadow of the Colossus does.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, to be fair, I still haven't created a PlayStation account, so all my achievements are just on the console.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it should copy over if you do.
Yeah, it's been something I've been meaning to, but I haven't played the PS3 for a little while, so because I've not played a PS3 game for a while, so but with this, also complete box.
Nice. I've got that, but I've only got disc only.
Mhm.
But brilliant. Chuffed.
Yeah,
We've,
I play it.
got a thing to fully understand the game. You need to play it through it twice.
Well, this Ico. Yeah.
I'm guessing so. Yeah.
I hope it's not an 8-hour game to complete once then.
Shall I see how long it takes? Let's have a look. Uh, 6.5 hours.
Okay.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah. Have you never played it before? No.
No, it's one I don't know why I've never played it. I've always wanted to. It's now perfect time to.
Right, definitely.
And when we get to do the next refresh of the wheel, I'll be throwing Shadow of the Colossus on to replace Psycho.
But would it be
Shadow of
the?
the Colossus is one of my favourite games. Like, honestly, I played it about 4 or 5. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Mhm.
Aye.
To be
I could
honest,
never watch the platinum though. But it's
Shadow
so
of the
good.
Colossus, I played through it on PS2, absolutely loved it. Played the PS3 one, absolutely loved it. PS4 one, even though they've made the controls a bit better in that, I've never beat it. I just got bored.
Really?
But I love Shadow of the Colossus.
See, I loved it when they released the PS4 one because they added a photo mode to it, and it's glorious, absolutely glorious, man.
They know how to sell a game to you.
But it's a gorgeous game as it is. But with this
Yeah.
photo, brilliant. I fell in love with it all over again. Aye. So we'll get that spun next time.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, we will draw this to a close then, shall we?
Cool. We kept it to under an hour. Wow.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Mhm.
But to be honest, there wasn't much to say about that game other than get angry at it.
Mhm.
I did enjoy it, but I imagine there'll be more to say about Ico. It'll be more of a philosophical thing and a way deeper discussion other than a guy in a tutorial has a afro sometimes.
There's definitely frustration. There'll be frustration in the next one, but it's just such a good game. Aye.
I guess we're not allowed to call it a hand-holding simulator all the way through, though.
No, I can't. But
We can discuss that on my stream.
What you explained just now?
What are you playing, Ross?
I'm currently playing a lot of Gran Turismo 7. Gordon knows my pain of trying to beat the licenses.
Jesus, man. I've said this before. Like I'll reach a ceiling of racing games. That's my ceiling. I'm a silver medal racer. That's it. I cannot.
When you were streaming them the other day, you were doing good. You were getting close.
I streamed for 3.5 hours. I got 3 golds.
Yeah, you got to walk away and come back to it.
I know.
Some of those I must have tried 100+ times.
That rally one was, oh my god.
Yeah, that gave me some jip. That one.
The rally one's tough.
What are you guys playing?
Gordon, what are you playing?
Travis Strikes Again. No More Heroes.
Mhm.
Playing that. Bloody love it. And when we're talking about reviews, I was looking at reviews for that, and I got 6 out of 10, which is unbelievably low for what it is. It's so good. It's such a good game. It's not going to break any barriers, but it's such good fun. Aye.
Cool. Whereas I think I've got 4 games on the go now. So I've started RPG number 7, which is the last story on the Wii.
Okay.
So about 5 hours to that. So I've checked, and there's like 44 chapters in the game. Some of them only last like a couple of minutes. I'm on chapter 12, so apparently about, I think, a quarter of the way through. But we'll see. I mean, 'cause apparently the game I checked, is about 27 hours. So I don't know if some of them are a lot longer or what, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah, enjoying that so far. Because I know, Gordon, that you gave up on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, aye. Like it's not that it was bad. I just didn't I didn't click with it. So
Sure.
It's one of the ones I've always wanted to play, but I've just never picked it up. I've picked up the
Yeah.
other ones, like Project Rainfall, but that's the one I'm missing.
Yeah, it's the first couple of hours. I mean, the combat doesn't change, but I find the game became more engaging once past a certain point. Like, whereas at the beginning was all right, but now I'm more like engaged with what's happening with the game. But yeah. Second game is, and I was seeing some parallels with our discussion about Psi-Ops. So I'm here playing Condemned Criminal Origins.
nice. Never played that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that game. I've got all the achievements on that on Xbox.
That'll be a
wanna play it.
discussion.
Yeah.
Because I've played the first 2 missions. I'm playing the Steam port, which apparently they just kind of shout out because I had to add a fan patch, which added a bunch of missing files from the 360 version because there were sound effects missing. The game had a dog shit frame rate, so like, anyway. But one thing I've found, because we're discussing about the melee in Psi-Ops, in this, like, because you can't pick up ammo. You literally, if you find a gun, you have the ammo that's in the gun. That's it. You cannot pick up any other bullets any other way. So they want you to use weapons you find around the environment. So I picked something up, but I can't tell if I'm close enough to hit somebody. So, and I can just get my health decimated because the fact that I've got them with like a crowbar and thinking I'm hitting them, but either I'm not, or anyway. But so that I found a bit annoying. So we'll see how
that plays a lot on sound cues, and like the whole game is made better by its sound design. So if it's missing sounds, that wouldn't be weird, because the thing I love about that game is the fact that it's so immersive due to its sound.
Mhm.
Like, I've never played a game that it sounds like you're hitting someone in the head with a lead pipe when you actually
not like that in this one.
Oh, it's so brutal sounding, and the combat in it is basically parry everything, and then when they stumble, go in for the hit. Otherwise,
I'm not guarding. I'm just pretty much just trying to just go.
Nah, guard everything, because they bang back from it, then you can hit them. And that has a part in that game, which is the only thing I've ever seen my mate literally shit himself do. But it's a trope that's played out in a lot of stuff now, but I won't spoil it.
Okay, though, did he say literally shit himself?
I swear I heard a few parps.
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. And then game 3 is, if I pronounce it right, Quirk, Kwirk on the Game Boy. So it's a puzzle game at the end of the day. It's just going through a bunch of puzzles. So that's what I've been playing while I've been sat on the sofa watching TV with Mrs. in the evenings. And then the 4th game is Road Rash on the Mega CD. So, which has anyone ever listened to the so Comic Zone on the Mega Drive came with a pack-in soundtrack CD, not soundtrack of the game, as in like songs kind of like inspired by the game.
Yeah.
So listening to the music from Road Rash CD kind of makes me feel like I'm listening to that. It's not the same songs, but it feels like very much the same style. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I've never owned any of the Mega Drive Road Rash games. So, and I tried them once or twice for like different challenges over the years, and not really done much with it. So this is actually making me do a deep dive into the game. And yeah, it's interesting to see it. I feel, but if I get more into that when I cover it.
I'll ruin one of my pickups that I've just been making a video about all day. One of them is the Road Rash 1 on the Mega Drive, and I was just testing it.
Yeah.
And I was playing it for so long.
Yeah.
I love it.
Does that have like a career mode in it, or is it just play through?
Not much of one. It has like a set number of races kind of thing.
Yeah,
like you can choose it to be a certain amount.
Because you have to go up, I say levels, but you have like I think it's 6 courses, and if you do not rank in 1 to 3rd place, then you don't count as winning that course. And until you've beaten all of the courses, you can't move on up the next level, but you can still earn money. So I think the idea is that you kind of try to do the best you can until you can buy a better bike, and until you can. I feel like that's the gameplay loop, but I could be wrong. Like I struggle to like get even close to getting the top 3.
Yeah, well, I don't know when I didn't go into it in depth on this when I was playing it again, but I was like, I just started it up and was going through the races as they were coming.
Mhm.
I didn't lose a race though, so I don't.
There's Dylan asking what game's next.
Ah, Ico.
Cracking. I don't actually know what my hobby is. I'll find it. I'll find it.
Yeah, I need to get a full version of the PS2 one. I've only got it's in like a game station box. It says Ico on it. I found it in a charity shop for 50p. So I've never bothered to find the extra box for it.
Bargain.
Yeah.
I think the PS3 is the way to go. Aye, for sure.
Mhm.
If you have the option, aye.
Definitely.
Yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to quickly check what the trophies on it are like. Let's have a look. I don't want anything to be spoiler thingy, so let's get all this hidden.
There's definitely a speed run. There has to be a speed run.
Time and date related. That's got to be speed run. Yeah, there are. God, there's 2 speed run trophies. Beat it in 4 hours and beat it in 2 hours.
Jesus.
Still,
Beat it in 4 hours.
4 hours and 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours.
Jeez, oh.
Yeah, I might not get the platinum on this. I'm shit at speed runs.
Not unless if it's. I mean, not having played the game, I just know you kind of lead a girl around, but maybe you can make her run in the New Game Plus.
Well, I know there was a speed run in Shadow of the Colossus for like 4 hours or something, and that's insane. You'd have to know those bosses like
inside out.
And
yeah.
I don't know if this has bosses. I know it has combat with like shadow demony things, but that's all I know about it.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. All right, should we wind this up, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, I would like to see some people just join in, even if you don't come on here or anything. I'd love people in the comments to be saying and talking about Ico. I imagine a lot of people have played it before, so it should be one that gets a good discussion going.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I don't have to host that one, so I'm happy.
My turn.
Yes. If you want the Lore Master video, I can send it to you.
For my second stream, even though this is my first game that's been picked.
To tell a lie, I did a couple of extra ones for people who picked them and didn't want to do them. So it makes it feel like I've done more than I have had picked. I haven't had that many. I've got one left. Right. Anyway. Cheers, people. Have fun, everybody.
Well, before we go, I think someone should be doing some plugging, for an event coming in October.
There is something coming.
There is something. The Tumblr Titans charity event, 24-hour game stream will be on the 1st of November. I've got loads and loads of new. What's the word? Raffle items. I've got loads of new raffle items. I got some raffle items from, if you remember, Ian from BS Crazy. He sent the Neo Geo Astro Mini thing last year. He sent me a big box of stuff again, and Soup of Pants. He brought me up a big bundle of games as well.
I've got a couple of bits for you as well. I need to send off. Magic.
Aye, so we'll get loads of raffle items going again and raise a shitload of money. Hopefully, that's the plan.
Yeah, you've got to beat last year. You've got to smash it.
$5,000's got to be the target.
That would be amazing.
Easy, no pressure.
And remember to cut the stream.
Aye, yes, that was an idiot. Aye, for sure. We'll cut it every 8 hours. That's it.
When is the stream?
1st November.
1st
November, 12 till 12 on the 2nd. Aye.
I have got it off work, so I can sit here and watch it for as long as I possibly can.
Until you fall asleep with a beer in your hand. You won't. I think you will last all 24 hours.
I'll give it a go. I'll have tenants in honor.
And who is the other Temporary Titans this year?
So we've got Big Game Al. We've got Feed Me Chicken. We have Pete on a retro tip. Marcus, Tommy, and possibly Jake from Dad and Lads. Retro Ed and Sean Retro Games Revived.
Awesome. All great lads.
You do need
Yeah.
to keep checking on Feed Me Chicken, though, because I imagine wearing that mask for that long is like leaving a dog in a hot car.
I know it's going to be good. I was talking to him the other night there. He's going to bring up his Xbox 360 because he's 2 achievements away from Modern Warfare 2
Oh, wow.
or something. So we're going to plug that together and try and get that finished.
Awesome.
That's cool.
I think that was my first platinum I ever had.
Mhm.
Ever. It was either Modern Warfare 2 or Borderlands was my first ever platinum. So hopefully we can help him get that over the line.
That'd be cool. I'd happily sit there and watch some live achievement hunting.
Aye. Just not bloody Gran Turismo 7. We'll get
That's
Al
what
on
you
that.
do. You gotta get your golds on stream.
We'll get Al to get the golds for me. In VR. Sorry. Oh.
All right, we will end it now then. Have fun, people. Cheers, everyone who stopped by to watch, and cheers to you two for joining. And
Thank you for hosting.
Hope yes, that's fine. The burden of it. Nah, it's all good. Right, have fun.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.